welcome to the page. I'm Patrice. I'm a singer, songwriter, and I'm also a vocal coach who's been teaching for over 10 years. So in that time, I've most definitely seen things that work and other things that have not. My goal here is to help you all to do the things that do work and avoid the things that don't. Because I know what it's like to be on this journey and go, am I doing this right? Am I not doing this right? What should I be doing? And so I want to help you. I not only want to help you with the technical things, but also some mindset things. I think there can be at times a lack of understanding that we do need to understand breathing and tongue placement and all this stuff, but there has to be certain things that we take on as a mindset to help our confidence so that we can keep growing as vocalists. So today, I'm not going to be talking about something technical, but actually something that's going to help you succeed. And that is establishing an incredible practice routine. So stick with me as I break down what you want to be doing and what you don't want to be doing. Okay, y'all. So I want to break down something that hopefully gives you reality into why I'm so passionate about people establishing a practice routine. So if you can think about it this way, right? People come to me all the time, Patrice, I want to improve my vocals. I want to learn to sing. I want to blah, 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 blah. I have goals and aspirations. A lot of them want to take this and be professional performers and earn a living off of it. Some want major label success. There's a whole variant of goals, but there's a good amount that want high levels of success in the industry. So I'm like, awesome. Anyone can do this. It's a matter of persistence, staying the course, and just taking lots of action. Lots of action. And so without action, things don't happen, right? And so what I want to break down is an example, because sometimes it's like, is it really that important? Or, that doesn't, you can do it once a week and you'll be okay, you'll improve, right? But I want for you to think about it this way. Say there was a trainer, right, who worked with people to get them to go compete for fitness competitions, right? And they had this awesome routine. They had the roadmap of what people needed to do in order to get really fit and present themselves on stage. And so they had that. And then they had people coming to them, and they had one person in particular. And so they come to them and they say, great, I want to compete in this fitness competition in blah, blah, blah months. They'll be like, awesome, great, let's do it. Here's your roadmap. Here are the things that I need you to do, right? And so they're given everything. They have all the tools that they need to succeed. But then they decide, well, you know what, life's busy. I only want to go to the gym and eat healthy once a week. What do you think is going to happen? It's kind of the same thing here, right? I hope you just had a light bulb go off and be like, well, they won't hit that goal. Because if you're only going to work out and eat healthy once a week, that is an intense training that has to happen that leads you to certain results. And so the same holds true here, right? I have people come in for their lessons once a week, and sometimes they think that's all they need. And it becomes really, really hard because the progression is so slow. So there's three key things that can happen when you don't establish a practice routine. When you think, oh, I can go in for my lesson, or, oh, I can practice once a week and I'm going to become a rock star. And it's like, well, you're going to see little to no improvement. That's kind of the reality of it. It's going to be super, super slow and therefore really discouraging. And so that's number one. And then the other thing is you can get sidetracked with other things. When you don't establish a good routine, you're going to tend to be like, oh, my friend wants me to go out. Okay, I'm going to go out. I got to watch this TV show. Or, oh, you know what? I actually need to do this homework. Or, and sometimes you need to do the homework. So, but think about it this way. Think about this stuff as homework, your technical stuff, your scale warm-ups. All of that is meant to improve you as vocalists, right? So the things that can happen when you don't establish a routine is, little to no improvement. You tend to get sidetracked with other things and get so busy that you don't end up by practicing. And then the other thing is we tend to give up on our goals because we get sidetracked. We don't see the improvement. You're not going to be as apt or as driven towards it or as hungry for it as when you initially came in or decided that you wanted to do that, right? Because there's something about when we don't see results, why am I going to want to keep putting energy and effort into that, right? But when we put energy and effort into something and we have first decided, yes, I want to make this happen. And then you put the energy, then you put the effort into it, and you start to see the results come through. I bet you guys there can understand, right? You get super excited. You're like, oh my God, it keeps you motivated. So that's why it's so important that we establish practice routines, because it really does come down to you do not need to be naturally talented to learn to sing or become an incredible vocalist. I always think about Ed Sheeran's first perform, or he was on a talk show and he shared a clip of one of his first songs and he sounds bad, guys. I was like, oh my God, that's Ed Sheeran. But he was persistent, and you can see a ton of interviews where he talks about this.
When people go, you're so talented, you were born with natural talent. I'm like, no.
He stayed his course. He went through the muddy waters of it and came out on the other side. And even then you can go through some periods where it's like, ooh, that's a little mucky. But that's really the testament to not needing to be naturally talented. It's just a matter of getting the right techniques and then drilling them in, because action always leads to results when they are backed by proper technique. Just as a side note there. So let me break down now 3 ways. Okay, so 3 tips that I want to give you that can help you stay on track are: number 1, put your practice routine in your phone, right? There's something that is so neat about, or helpful, I guess I should say, about putting in your phone, right? I put all kinds of things in here. I live by the Google Calendar, just with multiple different things juggling. It makes it so easy. Not only when I look every day at my schedule do I see all the different things that I have happening, but it also sends reminders, right? Who doesn't need reminders in this crazy world? I know I do. So that I'm a huge advocate of, if you don't do it in your phone, maybe you have a daily planner, but schedule out your day, but also schedule out when you're going to practice, right? Because when I was just talking about what happens when we don't schedule things out is we can get sidetracked, right? Especially if you're a busy person, you got tons of different things on your plate, you could be more apt to go towards something, especially when you're doing certain tedious exercises like may, right? Scales aren't fun. Let's just call a spade, right? Warm-ups aren't oh my God, they're not glamorous. I will say they, hands down, always bring results though. And that's why this is so important, right? But if something's not so glamorous, it's not so fun, it can be frustrating at times as you're working things out, right? You have to put more attention, more thinking on it. You're gonna wanna go do other things that may be easier. So most definitely, I wanna see you all do this. I wanna see you starting today. Put your practice schedule in your phone. It's gonna hold you accountable to it. Which leads me to tip number 2. And that is find an accountability partner, right? The phone can, you're getting that reminder, but it's not going to speak back to you. It's not going to be like, hey, what's going on? So accountability partners could be vocal coaches, right? I feel like with certain artists, that's what it is. That's what I can be for them. They've been with me for a long time. They have a lot of the bass techniques. They're doing really well. But so you might say, well, why do they need to come? Well, we can always improve. We can always look at different technique things that we could do to a certain extent. But there's also the matter of accountability, right? If I know I'm going to see someone every week and they're going to be asking me about my, how I'm doing, how I do with everything, I'm going to be more apt to stay on track because I know I'm going to have to I'm going to have to face that person, right? I'm going to have to actually be like, oh yeah, I need to talk to that person. So I always feel like with personal trainers, it's kind of similar, right? Someone can understand, yeah, I've gotten training. I know how to do squats. I know how to do push-ups. I know how to do all the stuff, right? But then why do they keep going to the trainers if they can do all these things independently? It's because that person's going to hold them accountable. They're going to have to face that person and maybe talk about what they had success with that week, what maybe they had a little trouble with, or other things like that. But it's holding them accountable to their goals, to their progress. So that can be a vocal coach. That could be a really good friend. It could be another musician you know. It could be, there's tons of forums online where there's people there and you could connect and kind of go, hey, I need an accountability partner. And you can find one there. So I'm just a huge advocate of that. I think that really is crucial in helping you stay the course. So number 1 is scheduling your phone. Number 2 is find an accountability partner. What is number 3, you guess? Well, that is chart your success, right? What happens with this? These are the kind of things that are going to help to keep us on track and keep that schedule in place is when I see progression, right? I'm going to be more apt to want to stay my course through those mucky waters and those frustrating moments there. And so what you can do with this, I do have another video where I break down how you can find your range, and I have a really cool piano that has the different voices or the different voice parts. And this way you can kind of track where you're at when you start or where you're at currently. And then you can refer back to that. It's helpful for 2 things. It helps you not only track your range so you can pick the right songs, but also so that you can see your progression. So be sure to check out that other video on my page and you can see that there. But back on track with this here, it's so helpful to see our progression. There was actually a study that talked about the idea that when people saw physical results, right, when it came to the working out stuff, and they were able to, be it because they did, I think it was talking about something that helped to suck out some of the water. So it wasn't something that would be a lasting result, but that they could see instantly just because of, I'm losing the word here. Essentially it was like taking out the water. I don't know. You kind of probably know what I'm talking about. And then because of that motivation, that physical transformation, they were able to stay more the course and be disciplined towards things. So I kind of feel like when I was listening to that and looking at that there, I was like, oh, that's so true. When we can see our progression, especially when we've been in it for some time and we're like, am I improving? And you can break out. You could also do a before recording, record yourself right at this moment. How do you sound? And then I wouldn't do this week by week because you'll go crazy, but maybe every month, maybe every couple of months, you check in on that recording. You record yourself again. You check in with your charted progression on your range and just see where things are at. Because I will say, I wholeheartedly believe, when we see things, we're going to be more pumped up and we're excited to want to stay the course with that there. And so that kind of all ties around to really the key to success is practicing and establishing a practice routine, because without that there, people can really tend to just go off and do their own thing or get too busy to do it. And then they just fall off. I see this over and over. I've been teaching again for over 10 years and I just can see this pattern happen. I'm like, oh man, person was doing so good, or they might have started fired up and then it got they started to go off maybe got busy, or they didn't establish this here. They didn't stay the course, because we're all excited in the beginning when we're trying something. It's when you start to get into it more and more and it can get a little tougher, or some of the things become repetitive, or, you just kind of start to lose a little bit of that there. I swear this stuff just kind of hones you back in. This helped you all. Be sure, if you are looking for technical things that you want to improve upon as vocalist, to check out the free Module 1 of my Learn to Sing Like the Pros below. I don't hold back. I go over breathing and your tongue placement, really vital and key things that you need to know as vocalist. If you do not know these as vocalists, you will not get very far. So be sure to check that out below. It's completely free. You just sign up. You're going to get access to the first part of the course there, and you can start to hopefully see some major improvement, which would be awesome. So besides that there, thank you so much for joining me. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. It really, really does help me. Comment if this helps you. Comment things that you need help with. That is exactly why I'm here. I want to listen to you all and understand what are the things that you're running into? What are the barriers that you're coming up against that are stopping you or holding you back as vocalist or artist in general? All right, so I want to see you putting in your schedule routine and improving.